What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another news video. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news and rumors you need to know, including a controversial segment for tonight's Smackdown, original plans for Charlotte Flair, an update on Shawn Michaels' Backstage Blowout, no Mae Young Classic again, and Chris Jericho talks proposed members for the Inner Circle. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. But now hit the intro because it's now time for the news. Now our first story looks at a controversial segment for Smackdown tonight. Now this week's edition of Smackdown continues Jeff Hardy's road to redemption, and boy, do they go in deep with Jeff's substance abuse problems. In fact, this angle was so difficult to tape that Vince McMahon himself had to come out and lend a helping hand. You know things are big when Vince gets out a gorilla. Now there are major spoilers ahead for the show tonight, so if you don't want to hear them, please check out the timestamps in the description and skip ahead to the next story. Given enough time yet? Well, Sportskeeter's Gary Cassidy revealed that the segment will be hosted by Renee Young, and she's joined by both Jeff Hardy, Sheamus, a man in a lab coat, and 4 security guards. Sheamus then demands Jeff takes a drug test before they have their match at Backlash. The segment goes in seriously deep as Jeff even admits he has a problem. Things however turn for the Celtic Warrior as Jeff grabs his urine test and douses it all over Sheamus. Wow, things sound golden for tonight's Smackdown. Literal golden showers. What do you guys think of this segment? Is it going in too far? Are you guys tuning in to watch this? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, the original plans for Charlotte Flair. Now, there's been outrage and even petitions to stop Charlotte Flair and her overexposure in the women's division. Now, after losing the NXT Women's Championship, the Queen is presumably back on Raw full time. However, plans involving her had significantly changed due to Becky Lynch's absence. In fact, Charlotte was supposed to feud with many other women on the NXT brand, Tegan Nox being one of them. She was supposed to give these up-and-coming talents a rub, but plans changed as soon as they heard about Becky's pregnancy. Now, Charlotte Flair on NXT has not been scrapped entirely, but for the meantime, she will be on Raw. Considering she is one of the biggest heels on the women's division, she's also there to balance things out, considering both Asuka and Kairi Sane recently turned face. Hopefully WWE doesn't have any plans of taking the belt off Asuka and putting it around the waist of Charlotte Flair. That would be disastrous, and I'm sure there might be an influx of signatures on that petition. Next up, an update on Shawn Michaels' Backstage Blowout. Now, in an update from our earlier report on Shawn Michaels getting into a heated exchange with a producer backstage when the two discussed the current protests against racial injustice and the producer allegedly said everyone is treated the same, this is when the other producer mentioned that everyone already gets treated the same. Fightful Select has provided an update suggesting things weren't as hot as originally reported. It should be worth noting that since the original article was published, there was one person in the company that stated it was more of a discussion than an argument. One NXT wrestler said the other producer was overheard noting that Michaels got hot at him, which was the word relayed backstage. Whether this follow-up story was damage control by the WWE or a typical case of wrestlers exaggerating a story with every telling, it's clear the producer's original comment upset Shawn Michaels. Next up, no Mae Young Classic again. The Mae Young Classic has been a great opportunity for fans to see some of the rising female stars in the wrestling industry, both in 2017 and 2018 events, but the event will not be held this year. The tournament didn't take place in 2019, but this year it appears it's likely the latest victim of the ongoing health crisis. According to Brian Alvarez, well, there might have been a Mae Young Classic scheduled for this year. There may have been a Mae Young Classic if not for all of this happening. And finally, Chris Jericho talks proposed members for the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle have quickly become one of the best parts of All Elite Wrestling, with the heel faction providing entertaining interviews and, more importantly, entertaining storylines and matches. While Jericho assembled a great collection of talent with Sammy Guevara, Ortiz, Santana and Jake Hager, there were other candidates mentioned. Speaking on his podcast Talk is Jericho, Le Champion mentioned, "One of the ideas is that they wanted to have a guy called Anthony Ogogo. I think he's signed with us now. I think he's a boxer from the UK. They asked what I think of him. I said he never wrestled. I asked how tall he was. They said he was 5'11". I said I need a big guy, and I got the guy. That of course became Jake Hager, who's provided the muscle the Inner Circle needs, but Jericho discussed another talent on his wish list, saying, I remember saying I would like MJF, and they said that he is going to do his own thing. In hindsight, it's difficult to think of MJF as a member of the Inner Circle, as he's proved so capable on his own. On the other hand, the Inner Circle's founding members have all benefited from their individual roles in the group. But there you have it guys, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.